Welcome to our program on Kardec Radio.
Hello, everyone. Here is Geraldo Lemos Neto, and I'm transmitting from Brumadinho, Minas Gerais, Brazil. I'm here with Marco Gandra, and we're doing the program To Know Spiritism number 62, live for Kardec Radio, and also for DSN, Discovery Spiritism Network, and Spiritism Dissemination. Be everyone very welcome. Today is a very special day, and I decided to record this program to remember some 39 years ago, on the 15th of October, when I had my first present meeting with Chico Xavier, our dear medium and friend Francisco Cândido Xavier. As you know, I'm from a Spiritist family, and my mother's side, the Machado family from Pedro Leopoldo, and the very place where Chico Xavier was born. And our families were very close friends. And since I was a little child, I got to listen many cases and many references regarding Chico Xavier's mediumship, his good heart, and how he helped people all his life. And for that reason, since I was a teenager, I was longing to meet him presently. And so I asked my parents, my relatives, everyone that was in contact with Chico Xavier, that if they had the chance, they please let me know and bring me to him. So that my great aunt, Nair Machado Pascoal, she lived in São Paulo. She was also a very close friend from Chico Xavier. She was born in the 10th of April 1914, and since she was a little child, she got to know Chico Xavier, and was a very close friend with him. And she, at that time, living in São Paulo, worked at the Centro Espírita União at the Jabaquara region that was found by the couple Galvez. And every year in the month of October, Chico Xavier was there to launch one or two of his books, psychographies books. And in 1981, 39 years ago, my great aunt Nair Machado Pascoal phoned me and told me, "Oh, you want to get to know Chico Xavier in the flesh, so you better come up to São Paulo. I will work in this launch of two of his books here at the cell, and I'll put you by my side working for him all night long, and after the work is done, I will introduce you to Chico Xavier." So that was done. I went to São Paulo as soon as I could, and on the night of 14th of October 1981, I was there, and I was very emotional to see Chico Xavier for the first time around 8 p.m. of the 14th of October. And of course, I was there to work, so I couldn't approach him at that night. I started to work. It was a long work because thousands and thousands of people were there to meet him. I believe more than 10,000 people was there that night. And my work was to open the book in the page where Chico Xavier would give his autograph. And so that I did with my grand aunt Nair from 8 p.m. until 7:30 of the next morning. Of course, the October 15th, 1981. It was 11 hours and 30 minutes of work. And after the work was done and, the queue, the persons online to hug and see Chico Xavier was just around 10 people. We stopped our doings and went to the line, and we were mostly the last in that line that morning. And for the first time, I was there to hug him, to talk to him. And this was a very emotional time that I will never forget. And I like to remember that today and share this moment with you guys, so that you can also feel what I felt that same morning. And my great aunt Nair, when she was introducing me, before she spoke my name, Chico Xavier said, "Geraldinho, I was waiting for you, my dear son, for a few times, because Emmanuel told me that you were coming." And there is two things about you that I don't comprehend. And I was simply shocked because that was the first time that I was seeing that man. So what could he say about me? And Chico stood there and kindly watching me, my reactions, and then he started to explain. The first thing that I didn't understand about you is that you write beautiful letters to me, and I receive them, and they give me so good feelings and thoughts, and you help me with them. And I never understood why you never signed them. And I was simply shocked because I never told that about these letters to anyone in my family, nor even my dear grand aunt Nair would know that, because I knew the postal address of Chico Xavier in Uberaba, and commonly I would just write small notes thanking him about everything he was doing for our family and the world. But I never signed them. I just signed a friend. And how could this man know that the friend was me? I was shocked. And the second thing that Chico Xavier told me that same morning and the second thing about you that I don't understand till this day, my dear Geraldinho, is why you never put your address so that I could write you back. And that was also true because I always thought that he was such, such occupied man with so many important things and works to do that I never thought that he would respond me, so that I didn't care to put my address so that he could respond me by letter. And he noted that and asked me why you didn't put your address. And so I could write back to you. So I was very emotional. I couldn't say a word. I was just simply crying, and he stood there and asked the ladies that were beside him on his right arm, the ladies that were taking care of roses, and he took a bunch of roses and offered me, uh, and also offered my cousin that was there, Regina, and said to us, I cannot give you guys just one rose. I must give you a bunch of roses because you are the grandsons and granddaughters of my dear friend Carmen. Of course, my grandmother Carmen was my great aunt Nair sister. She had already passed away, and she was from 1911, and she was Chico Xavier's fellow friend in the school in Pedro Leopoldo. And after that, Chico Xavier uh, asked me, Geraldinho, why don't you come to Uberaba and get to know our works and visit us there? So that was my first time in this reincarnation that I met Chico Xavier in the flesh exactly 39 years ago. And this date is a very important date for me. And of course, I was, 15 days after that date, I was there in Uberaba with other relatives. And for that date on, I never stopped going there, and also received Chico Xavier in my home in Belo Horizonte. And we established a very good relationship, a very good friendship that still lasts. So for all of you, I'm telling you so you can understand all the attachments and feelings and devotions that I have towards this great man, this unparalleled mediumship, Francisco Cândido Xavier. And that's why until this date, I'm with myself in the task to do the dissemination of the Spiritist works and the Spiritist doctrine inspired by him. So thank you so much for listening. I hope to see you next week. This was the program To Know Spiritism number 62 from Portal Saber Espiritismo in Belo Horizonte, from TV Saber Espiritismo at YouTube, and from Casa de Chico Xavier in Pedro Leopoldo, and also from Vinha de Luz Editora from Belo Horizonte. You guys receive my good thoughts from our hearts and minds. Thank you so much. See you next week.